Join me in singing I Am Home. I am home, I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road. Now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home.
Good morning and welcome to Unity, spirituality with open hearts and open minds. And we are an authentic, transformative, spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. And I think this morning, this day, and this time in our country and our world, co-creating a world that works for all is the greatest gift we can possibly give to ourselves and to one another. I found myself thinking, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And then the main message of that classic movie is that all the way along, Dorothy had exactly what she needed. All along, from the very beginning of the journey, she had the shoes to click together, and we have spiritual ruby red slippers that we can click together and choose to be a presence of peace and reconciliation in a world filled with polarity and with challenges. And so this morning we will be lighting our Christ candle as usual, which reminds all of us of the divine spark in each and every person and in all of humanity. So we hold, as we talked about last week, we are seeking a more perfect union. May we allow the Christ light in all to guide us in forming that. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. And as he lit that, it just danced huge to start with and then settled into a soft flame of peace. And in light of where we are this morning, I would like us to begin with an interfaith prayer of peace before we do our opening song. By the light of the Christ candle here and the light of the Christ candle in each of us, open to receive at depth the interfaith prayer of peace. Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, Hagia Sophia, Allah, Lord Krishna, Buddha, Jehovah, Jesus, Magdalene, and all other enlightened ones. Since a part of your divinity is planted in each of us, may we hear all others as you hear them. May we see all others as you see them. May we feel for all others with your compassion. May we think of all others with your wisdom. May we speak of all others with your voice. May we act toward all others with your intention and with your love. And so it is. Om, Amen, and blessed be. And so I invite you now to stand and to just take a moment to honor the Christ light silently in the people all around you, beholding the Christ light in their eyes as you make eye contact. Blessings this day to one and to all. Welcome to this circle of kindred souls. And now, it's you, Lord, our song to unite our voices as one.
When night has come and I am standing alone, when I seem lost so far from my home, I must turn to the voice that calls deep from within. It's you, Lord, and you will always be there. You may not know this, but we'll try it again. Pick it up. When night has come and I am standing alone, when I seem lost so far from my home, I must turn to the voice that calls deep from within. It's you, Lord, and you will always be there. When night has come and I am standing alone, when I seem lost so far from my home, I must turn to the voice that calls deep from within. It's you, Lord, and you will always be there. Let's do it one more time. When night has come and I am standing alone, when I seem lost so far from my home, I must turn to the voice that calls deep from within. It's you, Lord, and you will always be there.
Please be seated.
Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are, almost the middle of July already. I can hardly believe it. So Pam's talk today is about this enchanted map. She's got a workshop coming up, so you'll talk about that, right? Okay. And there's a sign-up sheet out there. But, so this enchanted map has something to do with the path we walk, I am assuming. I have not taken the class, and I'm not going to be able to this time either, so I'm going to wing this whole thing. But I've been reading this book called Jesus' Alternative Plan by Richard Rohr. And he's a Franciscan monk, a Catholic priest, and he's delved really deeply into the whole nature of Christ and what was going on, both in the time period and then metaphysically what's going on in the bigger sense of things. And he's breaking it, eventually this is going to get to the Sermon on the Mount, haven't got there yet. But he's breaking Jesus' ministry down in different segments and really discuss them. So he said there's really three themes for the whole ministry that he did. The first was a new image of reality that challenges conventional wisdom. Jesus was a really radical dude out there. When you think about what the prophets had called for and what the people were looking for was this warrior king that was going to come down and bring the people of Israel out and take care of the whole scene. Instead, they get this guy with Jesus knickers and a robe and just winging it. But was winging it with a purpose. And it really set everything upside down. Both the structure of the religious society, the structure of society itself. And so where our places in the world as individuals and as our relationship to God, I mean, all of that got switched over a very short period of time. His second one says, the second theme is a diagnosis of the human condition. Jesus went out and explained the human condition and how we can transform that within being in the physical body. That's the third part, is how the transformation happens. I focused on the second part of this because of today's talk. Okay, so Jesus' second theme, to use a medical term, is a diagnosis of the human condition. Jesus is describing what it means to be human, and that what all people are up against. Notice, to say diagnosis is not to say the answer, although Jesus finally lived that answer. Human life is a path. The path will be partially filled with death. The path will be partially filled with joyful life. Trust the path. Let it unfold and see God in it every step of the way. The human condition has an essentially tragic character that logic, riches, and even science will never be able to solve. The same is true with happiness, which Jesus defines in a totally extraordinary way. And he did that in the Beatitudes. So, a path to happiness are for those who are humble, compassionate, merciful, forgiving, pure in heart, peaceful, just, and stand in truth. Jesus was content, it seems, to describe the human dilemma with insight, patience, and compassion. Sometimes that feels like the answer, and perhaps it is. The compendium of stuff we're doing this year is the Course of Love. The Course of Love says this: the thought of God by which you were created is synonymous with the Christ within you. It is our finding of that relationship, the Christ within us, our relationship with God, our relationship with the source, and all that is created, that is the walk we take. So, both from the Course of Love and from Richard Rohr, the enchantment of our path, the enchantment of our walk, is a closer walk with Spirit, and to find our place and how that operates through us. Remembering that Jesus' ministry said it's about creating heaven on earth, and it's not something you're going to, it's something that's within you. And to bring that forth, the prayer this morning is an example of that. All that we do here is an example of that. And the daily word today says it's all in divine order. How's that? During times of uncertainty, I trust divine order. How often have I felt disappointed when something didn't work out as I had planned or hoped, only to discover the blessing that I had not anticipated? Seeing God in every situation, every time. Understanding that a seeming obstacle may actually be an unrecognized opportunity. I resist the temptation to wonder why the setback is happening. Instead, I pray, asking what is mine to do. I may receive guidance to wait for a better time to pursue my plan, or perhaps an insight will rise out of what happened into the failure, showing me a way forward that will accomplish even greater goods. Affirming divine order keeps me patient and trusting in the right outcomes of all situations. From 1 Corinthians, it says this, "For now we see in a mirror, dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, and then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. During times of uncertainty, I trust in divine order." And these are times of uncertainty, so we trust in divine order. And so it is.
I always love how perfect the daily word is for a given day with wherever I am in my life. And that one, they would have planned that well over a year ago before it went to the publishers, and a wonderful message for us to remember. So trusting in divine presence, in divine order, in the presence of blessings in the midst of every challenge because of that presence of the divine. Let us now settle into our time of prayer and meditation, where we each move within to that sacred place at the core of our being where we are ever in communion with the divine, sitting in the midst of kindred souls that we are so blessed to do this journey of life with. Let us allow our chant sanctuary to carry us from outer to inner sanctuary, and then at the end to bring us back out from inner to outer sanctuary in the oneness in which they truly are. Sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
And so we settle into stillness and the quiet, tender voice and presence of Spirit as we allow our outer world to fade, that our inner sanctuary may welcome us with its peace, its love, its wisdom, its compassion, and its light. Feel this inner sanctuary open to welcome you home to this tender place of unconditional love and regard. A place you can authentically be who you are in this moment. A place where you can be open to transform and to grow through your choices as to how you interact with Spirit, yourself, and the world. Here, feel the presence of Spirit reminding you to always lift above outer appearance and to see things with a higher vision that sees how the unfoldings are occurring on a soul landscape, individually and collectively. And feel that as you sit in this sacred place that is uniquely yours, the presence of the divine is there. The angels and masters and guides are there. All of us who love you are filling your inner sanctuary with our presence and our love. In this place, exactly as you are, feel Mother Earth beneath your feet, reminding you wherever you journey, whatever unfolds, you are sustained and nourished as you travel through this world in this assigned vehicle and this life experience your soul is helping you unfold. Feel Father Sky above your head with that higher vision, with lights by day and by night to ever guide your way and remind you you are not alone on this great cosmic journey of life. All around you, feel the wonder and the beauty of the created world, chanted into being, from light into manifestation. All of the kingdoms, plant and mineral, animal, human, and spiritual and angelic. These kingdoms surround and uplift you as you journey through this life. In this moment, I invite you to bring your life exactly as it is, with all of its blessings and all of its challenges, and realize you never walk alone. For the presence of the divine is with you in a myriad of forms. Open to allow the peace that passes all understanding to shimmer down and radiate upon you at every level of being, this presence of peace. The level of soul, peace at the level of mind and perception, peace at the level of heart and compassion, peace at the level of body and physical expression. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. And now, from this place of peace and presence, allow the prayers that are yours this day to emerge from your heart of hearts. Prayers for yourself and others, for our nation and our world, for this spiritual family, and all of those whom the High Watch chaplains are holding in prayer. feel this presence around you as you now take your prayers and gently and lovingly release them into the great field of creation that you are a co-creator in the midst of. Release your prayers, praying for right and perfect time and highest and best for all and gentle and graceful unfoldings. With this consciousness, release these prayers that they might now begin to already radiate back toward you and all for whom you have prayed, bringing all of the blessings of peace and presence to each and every person and situation. We unite with all of those this day who pray for peace all around the world. And as an inspiration, as we begin to prepare to link inner and outer sanctuaries, I can't think of a better prayer this day to guide us and to inspire us than the prayer that came from back in the 12th century from someone who was part of the mystical Church of Amor, through which we have our legacy, the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi. Let these words bring comfort and inspiration, and let one line just draw your attention and imprint itself upon your heart, mind, body, and soul for the coming week as a talisman of the presence of peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. To the path of the Christ, we rededicate ourselves. We renew and restore this dedication to be the living expression of the divine in our world to the best of our abilities. And we love and support one another as we do so. And in this faith and trust in grace and presence, let us now once again sing Sanctuary, linking inner and outer with true oneness.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving
song sheet on the back. We wrap our world in prayer, knowing God is greater than whatever we face. We trust and know this, and so it is. Amen, and blessed be. And now I'm so thrilled to welcome special music. And today it's our own Johnny McBride, and Suzanne Skadron is back, our very own. She was our music person for years. She plays at the Presbyterian Church now, so it's a real treat that she ran over so that she could be part of this. And again, perfect divine order, the song they're going to do together with their amazing voices is Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Perfect.
Sometimes I say, Almighty, help us with this bridge. Suzanne cleverly says, there's no bridge in this song. With a bridge. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when the times get rough, friends just can't be found. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I'll comfort you, I'll take your part. Oh, the darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you ever need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lead your mind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind, your mind. Let it be so.
Thank you. Oh, yes, we're going to be doing Enchanted Map. And the Enchanted Map is actually a set of oracle cards, and there's a companion book called The Map that goes with it. And they're meant to be archetypal images that are like portals, doorways, to help you gain insight into where you are on your spiritual path and what's unfolding. And I love that we had the song Bridge Over Troubled Waters, because when you're journeying through a landscape, there are times you certainly come across wild waters. And so to know that there's a bridge there, people willing to be that bridge, brings magic and compassion and wisdom and the presence of the divine to all of us as we journey through this world. One of the tricks to navigating on a map is to know where you are, where you're starting. Start right where you are. So many times it's like, well, I'll do that transformational work. I'll do that. I'll study that book. I'll do more prayer time. But I'll do that when I have enough time, or when a leaf falls on a Tuesday afternoon in front of my path. We can sometimes set up pretty tricky ways of, well, we won't do it until that happens. You start right where you are. One of the things I loved when I discovered Unity was they said, you're a beloved child of God. You're a spark of the divine. You're not an evil sinner. And it was like, that's such a different place to start on the map in terms of your perception of yourself and your life. I believe that each of us comes with a calling to bring unique gifts and presents to the world that no one else can bring but us. And so each one of us is profoundly important, not only for the growth of our own soul, but for the collective growth of all of us. And we are certainly living in a time where there are huge changes and shifts, and the shadows seem greater, but so does the light. And it's incumbent upon us to really be conscious, more so than ever before, about where we are, who we are, and what is it we're seeking to find. One of the great masters said, when asked, how do you find Valhalla, Nirvana, Shambhala, the kingdom of heaven? How do you get there? What's the map? I need to know. What do I do? And the master said it's quite simple. Make sure each step you take is going in that direction. The little steps add up and get us where we want to be. So often we think that on life we have to make these great leaps of faith. There are times those are called upon. I would not be here if Lane and I and all of you had not taken a great leap of faith and said, we belong together. There are times for those heroic leaps of faith, and there are times where the tiniest step is an equally heroic leap of faith. If you're in the midst of a crisis or heartache or anger or challenge, just one little step in the direction of peace and love can make a huge difference within you as well as within our shared world. One of the books that we're using this year is A Course in Love, and this is the sequel, so to speak, from A Course in Miracles. And the Course in Miracles was to shift our thought patterns, but A Course in Love is to let our ego be loved into wholeness and to come from a place of consciousness and loving choice. And so it's saying what we've heard about the divine all the way along, God is love, is absolutely true. It's not theoretical, it's living, breathing energy that created the universe and the world. And so we, I believe, are living at a time where this particular book has appeared as the next bridge over troubled waters. It is the echoing of the Church of Amor, which was the early Christian tradition that was the more spiritual, mystical approach to Jesus and Magdalene and the message of Christianity, versus the Church of Roma, that's more the structural, organizational system that came out of it. And so for me, the Course in Love follows that strand of the Church of Amor, the Church of Love. And it tells us this as we abide in these interesting times. Your heart knows the reality of the truth, knows that this new reality that is emerging is real and different from the reality of old. Ideally, mind and heart in union together will accept this new reality, and with this acceptance, the heart is freed to dwell in the house of the Lord, the new world, the kingdom that has already been prepared. It's there, here and now. That's what we were constantly reminded of by all of the great spiritual masters from all of the different traditions, is be present where you are and as you are, and realize that the divine is here and that you have been sent to encounter the world as an enchanted place filled with possibilities. The enchanted map oracle cards are ones that have 4 particular areas. There's place and landscape, where are you? People and companions, who are you with? The energies, the ethos that you're swimming in right now, and then the action cards of what choices can you make in this particular moment. Each one is a portal of story and journey and companionship to help inspire and guide you. It's multidimensional. It's a symbolic language that encourages you to live intuitively, which is that blend of head and heart. That's what we are evolving in this time period. I love the fact that we are coming into a place of wholeness. I always wear the cover of the Chalice Well at Glastonbury. My mother bought me this the first time I went there with her years ago. We were just there for an afternoon. And in this, you've got the 2 circles that with a place of interconnection, where they're both complete and whole circles, but they link, sharing their gifts without destroying the other circle. It's bringing together heart and head. It's bringing together masculine and feminine, lightness and darkness, allowing everything to be part of creation, realizing that everything holds blessings. Some of my deepest insights and spiritual growth have come through the places that were hardest and darkest, where the terrain was the most difficult to navigate. That's where my deepest soul growth has frequently come from. But it's also come from those moments of aha, wow, wonder, where you see the world like a child with new eyes. Sometimes it's being at North Beach and watching the sunset. Now you have to stay up and stay out quite late to see the sunset, but it's beautiful. Sometimes it's hearing just the right piece of music, a bridge over troubled waters. You realize the synchronicity and the magic that is the world. It's not by accident that in this time period, we are captivated and our culture is filled with things about enchantment and magic and wizards and sorcerers. We truly are sorcerers. because we are going to the source, the divine energy, and seeking to co-create lives and a world of spirit and peace and wonder. Congratulations, you just got your sorcerer badge this morning. I remember when I was a Girl Scout, I loved getting my new badges. So this particular book and tradition says that you are the cartographer of your own destiny, the map maker of your own soul path and unfolding. In it, she says this, and this is Colette Barrett Reed, who I absolutely adore her work. Imagine between the visible and the unseen is a guiding force that some call spirit, the holy will, the divine, the field, or consciousness. This force is ever creative, causing shifts and changes in the world, in your world, transforming you as the journey of your soul evolves. You are part of that consciousness too, influencing, dreaming, deciding, loving, choosing, and intending as you send out your own intentional signal like an integral note to a symphony. Isn't that wonderful? All of us co-creating together. Each one of us can make a huge difference, and we never know when we're going to hit that quantum number that shifts how we perceive things. Just look at science. We had old science, and then we had mechanical science with Newton and the apple, gravity. And then it emerged into Einstein's quantum theory of everything being interconnected. And then that's gone into greater quantum theory now with the entanglement theory and with how worlds fold over worlds. And it's absolutely mind-blowing. And the boson-Higgs particle is called a particle of light, which is how all of creation begins in the scriptures, and is what now scientists are going, that's where it began, with that spark of light. And so all of the world is divine. And one of the things that I loved working with these particular cards and with the book is that it reminds us that if we can be conscious of where we are, we can make better choices as to where we want to go. We can be at peace in that place with those people in the energies that may not have been our first choice, but to recognize this is where I am right now. And as the Daily Word said, there's a divine reason for this. I'm not a desert person. I am clearly a Pacific Northwest kind of gal. I have friends who just thrive and adore the desert. There are different natural landscapes that each one of us feels most nourished by. They all have their beauty and their wonder and the part of your journey that they bring you insights and new possibilities to. The people that cross your path, be they actual people, be they people that come in your dream time, be it words that you read on a page in a book written by somebody who lived 100 years ago, those presences that are with us are ever there. So we are blessed to journey through this. And as we look at life, we're invited to ask, where are we? When are we? How's that for an interesting one? And who's guiding you? Who's journeying with you? What are the energies? What are the talismans? This year, at our burning bowl, I invited everyone to pick a talisman word for the year. And as you all know, mine was pace, and the next day I broke my leg, so I got to practice. I got the lab to go with my word. And so you've got a talisman word for the year. Perhaps you've forgotten it. Maybe a good day to remember. In fact, this week we'll send out your vision cards and let's see how you feel. Where are you? So that at this point, about halfway through the year, you can go, okay, I wanted to be there, but I'm here. And instead of going, I should have been there, which is what our outer culture tells us, it's like, okay, I am here. What am I meant to learn here? What gifts am I meant to share here? And is that still my highest and best direction? If it is, okay, what can I do today to take one step in that direction? Who can we walk with that'll help us do that? One of the things with this, it talks about we all have an inner compass that will always guide us. And I know that the only times in my life where that inner compass said, do this, and I said no, I have immediately begun really ill at ease. It feels bad. It's like, oh, you're getting off track. And I am so grateful that that's clear, because then it helps me go, okay, how do I get back in alignment with my true North Star, with my true calling and presence? And so in this system, you've got a spiritual GPS system. We all use GPS in the outer world, and I don't know about you, but I've learned not to totally trust it. Turn right here. I'm on a bridge getting ready to cross a river. I don't think I'm going to turn right here. My inner guidance says, stay on the road, or you'll end up in the river. That's also my wisdom. Even though the GPS is saying, turn right. That actually happened to my mother and I outside of Boston. And it turned out there was a clover leaf down below that it was reading that I couldn't see. And my mother looked back and she's going, you're not going to turn right, are you? And I said, no, I'm not going to turn right. She said, oh, there's a clover leaf down there. Different levels. On the lower level, a right-hand turn might have made sense, but from the higher perspective, not such a good idea. So this reminds us to trust our inner GPS, our wisdom, our intuition, our own knowing that we know, rather than basing all of our decisions on what the outer world is telling us we should or shouldn't do. Because the outer world is usually really happy and ready to do that at any point. So, on this compass, you have true north. Each of the other directions, you have a choice. You ready for your choices? North is true north. South is, do you choose separation from the divine or surrender into the divine arms? S, do you separate and say, I do it alone? Or do you surrender to the sacred presence and realize you're not alone at all? In the East, E, we've got ego and effortlessness. Ego is when you're trying to make it work because you're sure that's the way it needs to go. Effortlessness is where you hold your intention, but you allow the unfolding to take place in ways you might not have expected. The ego is always wanting to drive the car and say, use the outer GPS. Your soul is saying, use your inner GPS. Effortlessness. I find if I'm starting to have to push too hard about something, that for me is a marker to slow down and stop and reevaluate before I take the next step. And then you have W, the West. And in the West, you have willfulness or willingness. Are you willfully attached to what has to happen? Or are you willing to recognize you may not have all of the pieces and there may be a greater unfolding in the midst of whatever is happening that's challenging you? I've always loved the direction of the West. With the path I've walked, it's my favorite direction because the West is the mystery, it's spirit, it's the unknown, the unseen, it's the flow of the divine. I love the East where the sun comes up. It's beautiful and it invites me to step into and love the world. But I also love the West where the sun goes down. And it's the realm of quiet and of stars and of moon. I love that true north to guide me, but I also love that foundation of the South that calls me to begin with a place of, am I separate or am I part of a greater whole? That foundation makes all the difference. Are you a beloved child of God? Or are you a terrible sinner? I never have been able to figure out where that came from through the teachings and the magic and the lessons and the wonder that the Master Jesus taught. So, as you journey along, where are you? One of the quotes from the book is, every one of us has in them a continent of undiscovered character. Blessed is that one who acts as the Columbus to his own soul. To be willing to see life as an adventure. When are you? The past is a guidepost and not a hitching post. Don't get stuck in the past. Do mindful time travel. Isn't that a great set of mindful time travel? Because you find yourself in the past and in the future, but you really need to be present now. But it's okay to journey and go, oh, I learned that there. Oh, that's a new vision. I want to incorporate that. Mindful time travel is different than wandering to the past with anger, wandering into the future with fear. It's about being present right where you are. Then you can decide which direction to go in. He says it's not what you are that holds you back, it's what you think you are not. So part of doing this is recognizing your inner guidance system, allowing yourself to be companioned by your highest self and by others in all of their forms. Carl Jung says the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. That's why we do this journey together. We can have so many more experiences than we ever would have had alone. We get to do it together. But we do it with the presence of Spirit. John Quincy Adams said, courage and perseverance have a magical talisman before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish into the air. We all have talismans and medicine bags that hold things that are treasures to us. Think about what you hold that helps guide you. Helen Keller said, no pessimist ever discovered the secrets of the stars or sailed to an uncharted land or opened a new heaven to the human spirit. Isn't that wonderful? This map, this enchanted map, looking at your life as an enchanted map, invites you to discover the secrets of the stars, to sail an uncharted land, and to open a new heaven to the human spirit for yourself and others. At the end of the book, Colette Barrett Reed reminds us, only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and man can find every truth connected within his being if he will dig deep into the mine of his own soul. That comes from James Allen. And I'd say every woman digging deep into the depth of the mind of her own soul. Spirit and our soul are our divine cartographers. I invite you to take some time this week and just really get clearer on where you are. What are the energies you're working with? And rather than resisting and pushing them away, allow them to be present. When I went to Al-Anon 40 years ago, I heard, accept life on life's terms. Start where you are, and then anything and everything is possible. Nancy Levin in Harbor says this, from this liminal state, we are reborn into a threshold between worlds. This pause between present and future is the alchemy that will wake us, unlock us, transform us. It is the magic that we need now to re-enchant our lives, our soul journeys, our word. Thomas More wrote a wonderful book about the re-enchantment of the world. And I think it's not only healing the paradox of polarities, but I think it's also seeing with the eyes of children and re-enchanting everything that is part of our world. I'll end with another quote from A Course in Love. And this invites us to be part of this evolving consciousness as we transform individually and together. Help is here. Hallelujah. Help is here. Be what you have been called to be. Open your dwelling place to your true self with a capital S, your true identity. Imagine this opening, this replacement occurring with every fiber of your being. Imagine the separate self being enfolded, embraced, and finally consumed, taken into the self of union, following the North Star to true home. The body of Christ becomes real through this indwelling Christ in form. Each one of us journeying in this world as part of this rich calling of our time, a time that we are called to be authentic, to be honest, to be who and what we are and where we are, but also to be transformative, to recognize the reason we're here is to transform and to grow. The one thing that is certain is life is always change. The harder you try and hold on, the more difficult it is to navigate. So it's being willing to transform and to let things change shape so you get to see the wonder and the miracles and the blessings. Doing it with a spiritual perspective that is that higher view from the North Star, and doing it in community, never alone, with not only other people, but with beings from other spiritual realms, from the animals we're blessed to share this world with, and the entire created world. We are here, and each one is being called. You are part of that consciousness, influencing, dreaming, deciding, loving, choosing, and intending as you send out your own intentional signal, like an integral note in a symphony. May you follow your inner GPS. May you see your life as an enchanted map going forward from this day, where you begin to be more aware of where you are on your journey. Let us pray. Oh, sweet, sweet Spirit, abiding presence of the divine. In you we live and move and have our being. We open in willingness to allow each to divinely determine their own soul unfoldings, to honor and support each as they navigate this world and the experiences their soul brings in, that they might grow and experience grace and realizing the blessings in everything. May we remember to trust the guidance of our soul and remember that this new world, this kingdom has already been prepared. We just need to have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and the willingness to be a part of it. For this we are so profoundly grateful. Om, amen, and blessed be. And so are you ready to embody it? Stand right where you are on the journey of your soul. The enchanted map has you standing right here. So notice Mother Earth, Father Sky, the world around you, and these kindred souls who are here because they love you and they love the world and want to be this presence. And now, wisdom. Great place to start.
And that which resonates, blessed intuition, wisdom through the heart, guide me through my moments, keep me spiritually smart. Yeah, oh yeah, filled with the Christ light, I discriminate between the world's illusion and that which resonates. Blessed intuition, wisdom through the heart, guide me through my moments, keep me spiritually smart. Yeah, oh yeah, filled with the Christ light, I discriminate between the world's illusion and that which resonates. Blessed intuition, wisdom through the heart, guide me through my moments, keep me spiritually smart. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, please be seated.
Come on. So, now's the time for some other wisdom. What is going on in your calendar this week? So, there are a number of things going on in our calendar here, which you are invited to take part of. Let's see, on the 19th, no, we're going to start with the 18th. This thing's not in chronological order. On the 18th, your enchanted map. Do you want to say something? I assume you do.
Week series. The book, if you'd like to dive in deep, you can get, but it's not required. We'll be going over a lot of this in class. And the Enchanted Map Oracle cards are the deck. Spiritual Summer Camp, Let the Play Begin. And there's a sign-up sheet out in the lobby. If you'd like to come, please put your name down. That way I'll make sure we've got plenty of handouts, okay? So 7 weeks starting on Thursday, 2 to 4, and it'll run all the way through the end of August.
All right, so that's going to be out in the fellowship hall. The next day, on the 19th, we're going to have a body tuning play shop. Not a workshop, but a play shop. And Michelle Edwards and Suzanne Scadron are going to lead it. And we've got singing bowls and singing people. And I'm sure that all that's going to involve us singing as well. Just thinking, right? Thinking outside the box. Okay, so that takes you, we got Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday at Fort Worden is our annual church picnic out at the kitchen shelter. There's a series of little sign-up things. If you need, you have to, at the kitchen shelter, you have to have a discovery card. If you don't have one, we just need to know so we can get carpools to set it up so you get picked up and taken down to the shelter and then brought back up to your vehicle. If you're parking up on top, you're fine. But once you cross the magic line, then you're not. And they're very cognizant of letting you know about that. Crossing the magic line, that is. So we're going to need some help setting up, taking down, all that kind of stuff. If you have a main dish of choice that doesn't involve an animal, let us know so we can make sure we have enough vegetarian options available. It's a cookout, so there'll be veggie burgers and whatever else is going to go on. Oh yeah, and bring a side dish to share. The church will handle all of the main things. And if you're conscious about one-time use things, if you want to bring your own plates and silverware and that, feel free to do that. That just cuts down on the garbage dump. So that takes us all the way up to Saturday, noon to 7. And then on the 21st after church, from 2 o'clock on, Sea Dog Farm, which is Betsy and John's place over on Seaview Drive, they have an event space. And on the third, I think it's the third Sunday of every month, they have an open mic. And they're invited, all of us, to show up. And they provide some hot dogs, we provide a side dish, and donations to defray the costs, and something for the musicians. And it's a wonderful place to be, and the weather is so good. Being inside makes no sense. So, so that takes care of this week, and we'll tell you about next week. So, I want to remind everybody. Well, first of all, Glenn.
Beautiful.
They are so beautiful. I hope that Laurel gets a chance to see this, what she's created up here, because it's magic. And when the lights go down, and we only have the one light on, it just is fantastic. It really is. So thank you very much. Sharon is holding the High Watch today, and she's available for personal prayer following service. We'll get to that. Did I miss it? Oh, I guess I did. I skipped. I reversed order because I was thinking about that song about wisdom, and I just jumped right into it. Thank you. Anyway, Sharon's available for personal prayer following service back in the chapel. The prayer box is also back there by Sharon, and your prayer requests will be held for a week, and then on the Silent Unity for 30 days additional prayers. And before we do the next thing, we need to receive the offering, which usually is in the other order. So, I invite you to take out your offering, and as we do here each week, we bless it, which is really a blessing about you. The resources flow through you. So it starts with you. The kingdom of heaven starts with you. The Christ consciousness starts with you, evolving all that. So together, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth we stand in? Yes. Right here, right now. It's when each one of us know the intentionality of our existence right here, right now. Knowing the source from which we came and the source from which everything flows. God gives us everything we need. And it's not just us in this room. It's all of us across the globe. When all of us can come to that realization that we have a common source, the common source is here to love us into expression. Through that, we can certainly stop all the strife and the irritation and the divisions and all the angst. So let that be our collective calling, our collective consciousness. And then doing so, create heaven on earth in our lifetime. And so it is. Amen. Okay, now I won't give you the announcements again, so we can just form a circle right up here.
We form a circle here, or go back?
We can we can stay right here.
I can stay here.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, love came back, Betty. It takes a lot of love.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is our moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Oh my goodness, there are two little bugs in here.
Oh,
Imaginary chime. I think it would really upset them if I hit it. So imaginary creative energy, blessing and sending you forth. You can tell I am a total St. Francis person. Oh, we bless you, little bug and little spider. Yes, there's a little bug and a little spider. Where did the little